The Lexus RX can trace its roots back to 1997, and over in the States has been a big success for Toyota's luxury brand. In Europe though, it's never enjoyed quite the same success, buyers instead preferring Lexus's smaller models. It's the job of this new 4th generation model, complete with its enormous grille, to change that. Lexus intends to do this by making the RX more fun to drive without sacrificing ride comfort. We'll find out in a minute if it's succeeded, but first let's see how big this beast is on the inside. Two versions of the RX are available, a straight petrol and this petrol-electric hybrid, which sacrifices some boot capacity for the battery pack. As a result, this is not a huge space considering the size of the car. BMW X5, for example, has a lot more room. Plus, if you follow me round to the side here, you can see that even when you fold these rear seats flat like so, there's still a lip in the load bay. You can extend boot space by sliding the rear seats, although you'll sacrifice some leg room. And while you can fit 3 across the back, headroom for the person in the middle is a bit tight if you have the optional panoramic sunroof. No such reservations about space in the front though, and this is a terrific dash as well. Build quality is just impeccable. The buttons, although a lot of them are very tactile to use, and there's lots of adjustment in the seat and the steering wheel, all done electrically. There's plenty of storage spaces and the giant screen has a pin-sharp display. It's just a shame that the controller for it is so clumsy to use. Lexus offers the RX with a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine, but it's this hybrid model that will be far more popular. It uses a 3.5-litre V6 along with electric motors on each axle, so it's 4-wheel drive. It also means that you can pull away in almost complete silence. However, it won't be long until that petrol engine kicks in again, because unlike some of its rivals, the Lexus isn't a plug-in hybrid, so it doesn't have a huge bank of batteries. What this also means is that by today's standards, CO2 emissions and fuel economy are kind of average, 127 grams a kilometre of CO2 and 51 miles per gallon. We've been getting nowhere near that kind of economy either, instead recording about 30 to 35 miles per gallon. The RX is pretty brisk, particularly if you use this dial down here to select Sport Plus mode. Combined system output is 300 horsepower and 0 to 60 miles an hour takes 7.5 seconds. What's more, you tend not to mind the CVT gearbox so much because, although it does hold the revs high when you accelerate quickly, the V6 sounds quite good. And what about that promise of improved handling? Well, compared with something like a Porsche Cayenne, this is still a very soft car, so isn't particularly rewarding when you take it by the scruff of the neck. And while the steering's accurate enough, you do get a fair bit of body lean in corners, and then there's just the weight of the thing, which kind of makes it feel a bit like you're in charge of a runaway train. The RX is also a very comfortable car on the motorway, and I've no doubt that it will be a pleasure to use day in, day out, especially if you do a lot of your driving in town where the hybrid system is in its element. I think though that despite its improved handling, its sharper styling and its more luxurious interior, the RX is going to remain a niche choice. For part of that you can blame the price, which starts at £40,000, and that's for the non-hybrid. But the real sticking point is that other SUVs such as the Volvo XC90, BMW X5 and Audi Q7 are just as economical, as well as roomier and better to drive. And so while the RX is a good car, I fear that its status as the underdog isn't about to change. If you like the idea of the RX but would prefer something smaller, then have a look at our Lexus NX review up here. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking up here, and to go to the Telegraph Cars website you can click down here.